President of Ukraine, Volodymyr Zelenskyy, made a historic visit to the United States, the White House, and then the Capitol. And we have so much to look at from this, so let's waste no time and just start going through a number of different clips from this visit. First, meeting with Biden in the Oval Office and thanking Joe Biden, the American people, for their support.
Great honor for me to be here. Dear journalists, I thank you so much for the invitation. I really wanted to come earlier. Mr. President knows about it, but I couldn't do it because the situation was so difficult. And now, if I'm calm, I mean that we control the situation, and because of support. And first of all, because of your support, and I understand that we have very important topics, and we'll discuss them, everything, so many challenges in Ukraine, in Europe, in the world, and from energy to the situation on battlefield. But first of all, all my appreciations from my heart, from the hearts of Ukrainians, all Ukrainians, from our nation, strong nations, all the appreciation to you, first of all, Mr. President, for your big support and leadership. Of course, Europe, many countries.
We'll stop it there, but voicing that appreciation for the significant amount of support the United States has sent Ukraine's way. And as he went on to describe, Joe Biden largely has been the leader within kind of the alliance between all these different countries that is helping Ukraine. The United States has head that up in a significant way. Next moment from the press conference that followed.
Help us to defend
and this is, of course, now a translator for Zelenskyy.
Our values and independence. And regardless of changes in the Congress, I believe that there will be bipartisan and bicameral support. And I know that everybody works for this. And of course, during all of my meetings today, we discussed issues of standoff against terror of Russia, their destruction of our energy infrastructure. We need to survive this winter. We need to protect our people, and we need to be very specific in this area. This is a key.
And that is important because it highlights one of the primary goals of this visit, both being just to show the strength and presence of Ukraine and the bond between the United States and Ukraine in this situation, but then also to rally support among lawmakers for continued efforts to assist Ukraine. Here's Biden pledging the United States' continued support to Ukraine.
What I want you to know, President Zelenskyy, I want you to know that all the people of Ukraine to know as well. The American people have been with you every step of the way, and we will stay with you. We will stay with you for as long as it takes. What you're doing, what you've achieved, it matters not just to Ukraine, but to the entire world. And together, I have no doubt we'll keep the flame of liberty burning bright, and the light will remain and prevail over the darkness.
There we go. And then, interesting moment when Biden gets asked pretty much, why is it that you'll sort of escalate the type of military support you're giving, but not cross a certain line? Why not just give everything in the form of military support that you can? And Biden had a good answer, but here's starting with kind of a funny moment that occurred right after the journalist asked the question.
Capabilities, including long-range missiles, ATACMS. Maybe I sound naive, but can we make long story short and give Ukraine all capabilities it needs and liberate all territories rather sooner than later? Thank you.
Well, his answer is yes.
I agree.
So, of course, Volodymyr Zelenskyy is on the side of, yeah, give us everything possible. But as Biden outlines a little bit later in this clip, it's a little bit more complicated than that from the perspective of the United States and other Western nations.
We've announced today another 200,000 rounds of additional ammunition. And you say, why don't we just give Ukraine everything there is to give? Well, for two reasons. One, there's an entire alliance that is critical to stay with Ukraine. And the idea that we would give Ukraine material that is fundamentally different than is already going there would have a prospect of breaking up NATO and breaking up the European Union and the rest of the world. We're going to give Ukraine what it needs to be able to defend itself, to be able to succeed and succeed in the battlefield. And the other piece of this is, you may recall, one of the reasons why I have spent, well, I won't tell you the calculation, but I've spent several hundred hours face to face with our European allies and the heads of state of those countries, and making the case as to why it was overwhelming in their interest that they continue to support Ukraine. They understand it fully, but they're not looking to go to war with Russia. They're not looking for a third world war, and I think they can all be avoided by making sure that Ukraine is able to.
We'll stop it there. But great response from Biden. We're going to give Ukraine what we can give them without setting off a larger set of ramifications that the broader community of countries that standing behind Ukraine isn't willing to withstand or be a part of. Now we get into the speech that President Zelenskyy gave in front of Congress. First moment here.
This chamber and spread across the country, dear journalists. It's a great honor for me to be at the U.S. Congress and speak to you and all Americans. Against all odds and doom and gloom scenarios, Ukraine didn't fall. Ukraine is alive and kicking. Thank you.
And indeed they are. Him highlighting the pretty shocking and impressive response we've seen, in some part because of the support of the United States and other countries, where Ukraine has been able to fend off Russia so much more aggressively and successfully than I think anyone or most people expected. And it's been really, within the context of a horrible situation, good to watch that has been the outcome rather than what I think more people would have told you was going to happen beforehand. Next moment from this speech.
Let this flag stay with you, ladies and gentlemen. This flag is a symbol of our victory in this war.
So he's presenting a Ukrainian flag to Congress.
We stand, we fight, and we will win because we are united. Ukraine, America, and the entire free world.
There it is, and he was, of course, also presented with an American flag to take with him. And then last moment here from the speech I want you to take a look at.
I would like to thank you very much. Thank you for both financial packages you have already provided us with and the ones you may be willing to decide on. Your money is not charity. It's an investment in the global security and democracy that we handle in the most responsible way.
And I love that. Your money's not charity. And it's one of the things I've tried to advocate on behalf of within the context of this discussion around how much money should we be sending, how much support. And I'm way more on the side of more and continued than some other people who disagree. And one of the reasons that I cite is it's not just about what I think is an absolutely justified intention of helping a country that was invaded in an unjustified manner defend themselves, but also what it means for the kind of global ramifications going forward if Russia is not successful in this effort. Last little thing that was floating around in regard to this, the recount put together a good comparison of when Zelenskyy met with Trump versus when Zelenskyy met with Biden.
I really hope that you and President Putin get together and can solve your problem. That would be a tremendous achievement.
It's an honor to be by your side in the united defense against what is a brutal, brutal war being waged by Putin.
So, of course, two different realities completely as far as what was happening in the world. But just the face on Zelensky's, or the look on Zelensky's face in the two different clips is quite funny, but really, again, historic moment. And I think it was impactful to watch. He was advocating on behalf of the strength of Ukraine, but then also advocating on behalf of trying to get Congress to be on the side of continued support. And I think from his perspective, it went really well. And Zelenskyy did a great job. I think Biden did a great job. And again, it was pretty fascinating to watch. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to be a part of what makes this show possible, plus get access to the full video version of the show hours before any of the clips are uploaded to YouTube, plus get a full extra show every single Saturday, you can do so by going to patreon.com/Luke Beasley. That's patreon.com/Luke Beasley, and there's a link in the description.